going, everybody? Level M Dadcast special showcase today, Matchbox Road Blasters. Road Blasters, power that rules the road. That's right, everybody. We're talking Matchbox Road Blasters today, circa early to mid 80s. There were two factions for the Road Blasters. There were the Motor Lords, which were the bad guys. This is going to be the leader of the bad guy. His name is Motor Master. He is the bad guy, the leader of the bad guys. There's a bunch of bad guys, but he's the leader. And Turbo Force is going to be the good guys. We'll go through what we have. I don't have all 16 models. There were 16 releases. I only have 10 of them, but I will show the other 6 releases on there. These were based on existing Matchbox castings. They didn't have any new castings for these lines, although they did modify some of the castings relatively heavily. This one right here happens to be the Peugeot Quasar in black. This has a couple accessories on there. They all have accessories on there. This is just attached with a little bit of a pin right there on the back right there. Just a plastic accessory to add on there. You can leave it off if you want to. It's like a turbo engine, turbine, or a jet engine, something to that sort. It does have a weapon here on the top. 2 different pieces to make up this weapon. This is kind of like a radar dish or maybe a rangefinder type of situation. And then underneath there is maybe like a rail gun or just some type of other kind of weaponry of some sort. You can see the covers come off right here. This is his armor right there. The armor is all the chrome. So, and if you wanted to, you can take off all these pieces. They are all interchangeable if you want to take them off. Taking off his armor there on the top, there is the deets underneath. It does have a completely different interior than the Peugeot had. A little bit of print on there in green, which is a very, very interesting look. And of course, it has good old-fashioned 80s super fast lace wheels on there, which looks pretty good. So that is a pretty decent one. Again, this is the leader of the Motor Lords, which is the bad guys. I don't know if these are going to fit. We're going to try. So we're going to do bad guys on the left side. We'll do good guys on the right. All right, next one up is going to be our Turbo Special. Our Turbo Special, this is based on the Mercury. Just Mercury it says, but the Mercury police car. There's a couple different pieces on there. We'll get those pieces off there so we can take a look at the model. Of course, this is for Turbo Force. He's a good guy. All metal construction, does have the same lace wheels for the wheels on there. It says cylinder drive there on this particular side. Blue looks good. Very 80s style of deco on here, no doubt about it. And of course, suspension, because they had suspension back in the day. He's got a front armor piece. It does just clip onto there, and of course it kind of sort of lines up. There we go. Get it to line up correctly. There we go. It lines up with the wheels right there. So just a little bit of armor for the wheels. This particular piece is a little bit loose. It should be a little bit tighter. See a little bit of 2 notches right here are supposed to hold it on. And then it has a secondary piece which just sits right here on the top. It does cover up those lights. Cover up the light bar. Just kind of chills on there a little bit. It lines up pretty well. It's not exactly the best. It's supposed to clip right into these, or slide underneath those, I should say. And the whole thing should just be a little bit tighter on the way it sits on there. But it's a little bit wonky, a little bit loose. Trying to get it to get down on there and sit properly. It doesn't want to cover up the lights too much. You got to remember, this is 80s plastic. So there's little notches. You see these little tiny notches on the inside. That's supposed to clip in underneath the windows, but it's just too tight to get those in there. You see that plastic right there? It's been pushed and prodded way too many times to try to get that to fit in there. So this is what it looks like. Sorry about all the jumbling around, but that's what it looks like. He does have a couple of weapons there on the top. They are individually movable. Now, of course, you could take those off as you want. You can take whatever armor pieces off you want as well. But this one's pretty good. It's not the best, but it's pretty good. Not too bad to start off for a good guy. Not the best good guy, but he's a pretty good guy. However, this is the best guy right here. This is the leader. This is Thunder Gunner. He is the leader of Turbo Force. He is the point man. Uses the 80s Corvette castings. Corvette in the back. He's got a little wing here on the back. Weapon right here, which can be rotated and moved around. Some type of gun of some sort. And he's got like a missile missile can go around. These are not missing pieces. These are designed so you can move these around if you want it on this side, that side. Maybe you want to put it on the top. You can do that as well. It's not fixed in place. So you do have a little bit of flexibility with some of these pieces. And we'll just see if we can pop this front piece off. There you go. There is the print underneath there. Looks pretty good. The entire interior is the gold piece, so that's been modified. You can't do anything with it. There is the base deets made in Macau. This also sports the 80s super fast wheel, which was pretty rare for this casting. I think this casting may have only seen that wheel once in like a regular release, like a decent release. So we'll slide the front little piece back in there, and we'll take his little rocket and put his little rocket on the top. But that looks pretty good. And of course, you could put those on the wings too. The holes in the back, you can put it on the wing if you wanted to. But that is the leader of Turbo Force. So basically, those are your 2 point guys. All right, next one up. This is Car Pow. Yes, Car Pow. With a piece here on the top. There is it's just plastic friction used to create that feature. Pretty nice that it's not broken. You still have that in pretty good shape. Still looks pretty good. The cars are a little bit dusty. I've had them sitting around for a little bit. They don't really fit in anything. So clean up that dust a little bit. There is the print right here. This is the Holden pickup. Yes, the Holden pickup, which was not used all that often. This one's a little bit harder to find. So this one's a pretty decent one. This is fixed. Actually, no, that does come off. I think. Should come off. Here we go. Pops out of the back. There we go. So if you just want to run the Holden truck just like that, you can. Of course, brown is the base color, which is interesting, but that's okay. This guy is for Turbo Force, so he's a good guy. So let's see if I can put that back in there the correct way. So there we go. And then we'll put the little hunk piece on the top. Hopefully I get these all right. This does pop into the front grill right there, so we'll get that popped into the grill. There we go. And then it holds on to there. It's pretty good. I don't know if this one will fit. This one does not fit, so we'll have to put him at the bottom. But pretty sure he's a good guy. Pretty sure he's a good guy. So we're going to put him there. All right, next one up, we're going to take a look at a few that I don't have, unfortunately. We're going to take a look at our Rampager. Rampager looks average. Looks okay. I wish I had the Rampager, but unfortunately I don't. It's based on the Sauber Group C, which is a pretty cool casting in my opinion. It's just got a couple of accessories to put on there. It's really nothing particularly fancy or anything like that. Next one we're going to take a look at, of course, is the Killer Z. Yes, not Killer B, Killer Z, because of course it is based on the Datsun 280ZX casting. It looks okay. It's not particularly fancy, but it looks okay. Next one up we're going to take a look at is the Streaker. This one is a pretty decent one. It's based on the Daytona Z, Dodge Daytona Z. I really wish I had this casting. I really wish I had this one. This is one I've been looking for a little bit. It's pretty hard to find most of these. These aren't exactly easy to scoop up by any means. Next one up, Street Eater. Yes, the Street Eater, which is based on the Ford Transit Super Van. Another one that I really wish I had. This one is pretty cool. The Super Van wasn't used all that much as a casting, so it'd be nice to get another one of these, which would be a pretty good addition to my collection. All right, Speed King. Yes, Speed King based on the Ferrari Testarossa. Yes, this is back when Ferrari would allow toy manufacturers to do things like this with their models. You would never find this today, which I think is ridiculous. I mean, it is what it is. Like, if you're selling your brand, you're selling your brand. You should just go with it. And then the last one that I don't have, unfortunately, is the Road Raider. This is based on the Unimog, the 80s Unimog, which is one of my favorite castings from that era from Matchbox, which looks very, very, very good. Fortunately, I don't have those. So those are the 6 models I don't have. Let's get back to the stuff that I actually do have. All right, as we flow back into the ones that I actually do have on hand, we have this guy right here. This is the stuck-up pickup. This is the F100 flare side, the Ford F-Series flare side. This one comes with a couple of rockets here on the top. Of course, they are just attached. You can pop them off, move them around, put them on the sides if you want. And of course, stick-up pickup truck. It does have this little piece that just flops up. Nothing particularly fancy. I don't think this is missing any pieces, but it might be missing a piece. I will drop a comment down below so you can see if it is missing a piece. But I don't believe so. This is just a piece to take off the back. This one's a little bit more difficult to pop off of the roll bars, so just wanted to showcase the prints that are on there. It does come in an army green. Looks pretty good. It's not super fancy, but it looks all right. I like the green window. The green window actually looks relatively well. It's a pretty good contrast with everything. And then, of course, there is the base deets. Nothing particularly fancy with that. This guy is from the Motor Lords. So he is, of course, a bad guy. So we will put him on the bad guy side. So we'll get this popped into there. There we go. Put him in with our bad guys. There we go. All right, next one up is probably going to be a relatively popular one for most people. This is the Backstabber. Of course, this is based on the Chevy Blazer. Matchbox did do a retro deco for this. That's the one that they re-released, I guess you can say. We'll go ahead and take the accessory off real quick. So it was kind of sort of based on this. It wasn't exact, but it was close. It was close. That's pretty much what it was based on. But it looks pretty good. Something different. The decos on this are very interesting. Very weird looking. That is either a number 90 or you could say number 6. Who knows? But it's on there. It is what it is. There's the deets. This is the accessory piece on the top. It's just a giant piece that just hooks right onto the top. Hooks in through the windows, underneath the window area. A little bit of battle armor here on the top. Couple of rockets. So take this off of here. There's 2 of these rockets, and then there's this gun emplacement right here, this triple gun, which can come off separately as well. So throw those back on there. Nothing on the back, nothing on the other side. It's just pretty much straightforward. Just some plastic accessories, but I think it looks pretty good. I don't think this guy's going to fit either, unfortunately. But this guy is a bad guy. Yes, he's a bad guy. You know what it is. The Blazer's the bad guy. It's a bad guy, okay? All right, next one up we're going to take a look at is Parasite. This is based on the Jeep Wrangler from back in the day. It is the most fully armored one for the most part of all of them. It comes with this kind of great piece here on the top, which does move, but doesn't really do all that much. But of course you can take it off if you want to. So we can, sorry about that, we'll take the grate off right here. Pops off each side. Nothing particular on the top there. It's pretty much what it looks like. You see there's little pieces right here. So we can take that same grate, put it in the back here. And realistically, you can move this. If you just pop them out of the sides, sorry about that, you can move it along this channel. There's actually a channel in there, and that's really what it's meant to be used as. But I find it a little bit cumbersome to try to do that. It's kind of a pain in the butt to slide that around to try to get that to cooperate. Of course, it wants to connect and snatch onto every little piece that it can, and then you can put it right back there on the top. So sorry about all that jumbling around. That's just what it is. This is a canister. The canister can come off the top. There's also like a little generator piece. This generator piece can come off the top as well. So you can use those for other things and move those in other spots. This one's not as universal to move stuff around, but you can move them around a little bit. And then if you just pop the little side pieces off here and take the entire armor piece off, there we go. You see it does go through the front grille, which holds it on. Then there leaves your Jeep, your regular Jeep, of course in kind of an army green color. Details on the front look okay. They look okay. They're not the greatest, but they look okay. And then, of course, the little biohazard symbol on the back, because presumably this little container right there on the back is a nuclear device of some sort or some type of radioactive deal. So there is the Jeep. Jeep sort of fits in there. Just kind of leave him kind of hanging there. He's also a bad guy. Motor Lord, he's also a bad guy, so we'll throw him right there. All right, Road Razor. Road Razor, of course, is based on the shovel nose tractor in purple. It's got a couple of guns here on the side. Move them up and down. They are, of course, in purple. Has a piece right here. This has some moving feature to it. Pretty much opens up the back or closes up the back to keep the armor. Still can utilize the shovel, so you can still throw that around. Some pretty good armor on the front to keep from getting shot at, directly on. And then, of course, just like the rest of the armor, it all comes off. There we go. And then that's what the shovel nose tractor looks like, completely without armor. I like this one. I like it in purple. It's definitely different. It screams 80s vibes, which is good. The decals on it are very, very interesting. I like the really freestyle kind of flair that these models had. And of course, there's like a whole story between Turbo Force and Motor Lords, and some of these models, their names have been changed a little bit. Sometimes they were different names. They kind of rolled here and there, but for the most part, they stayed consistent. So he's a good guy. So we'll put him there on the good side. One of my personal favorite ones, not my personal favorite. We laid that one to the last, but this is one of my favorite ones. This is, of course, the Tyrone Malone. So the Kenworth, but of course, you remember it as usually having a big wing on the back right here. This is your barrel bomber. Does have a couple of missiles there on the top. These missiles are the best looking missiles of them all, just because they look, far more realistic. So a little bit of fin on the back as well. You get 2 of those on there, which looks good. That's an accessory piece. Of course, it does go up, so you can shoot them up. This piece in the back here, I think, is fixed. It is fixed. So this one is fixed together, although you do add this piece if you were to buy it new in package. And then, of course, just a couple of, those can be mortars or those could be antennas, anything of the sort. So we'll put our other one on there. The deco looks pretty average. I like it in brown. Of course, the bigger wheels in the back, smaller ones in the front. Pretty prototypical for this particular casting. Does say dangerous load, which looks good. And this, of course, is a good guy. So that's always a good guy with the good stuff. We'll throw that guy right there. But my favorite one of all of the Turbo Forces, unfortunately I don't have 6 of them, so that could change when I get one of the other 6s. But for now, this is my favorite one right here. And he is a bad guy. He's for the Motor Lords. This is your Peterbilt Wrecker. This thing is armed to the absolute teeth. This guy is just an absolute brute. Still has all the tow stuff in the back, so he can still tow. But the armor around the cab is just bonkers. It looks like a medieval helmet. I really like the look of that. It even looks like he should have like some feathers coming out of the top. He's got this crazy gun on this side, this enormous gun on this side, just huge gun, and he's got a second one here on the top. Of course, you can move the other gun up here, so you can have the 2 guns at the top, and all that good stuff like that. The armor just hooks around the steps right here on the bottom. And then there is the deeds for the Peterbilt Wrecker by itself. It says, warning, back off. It says, do not checkered flag. Whatever that means. Do not checkered flag. But it looks good. It looks good. I like this one a lot. It still has the driver in there. Barely see through the green. Oh, you can't even see in there. There's a driver in there. It's molded into the casting. This truck has always had a driver inside of it, which I thought was pretty cool. So we'll throw this back on there. Keep him all armored up. That is my favorite one of the Road Blasters. Yes, unfortunately, he's a bad guy. So we're going to put him to the little left side right here. But there you go. These are your Motor Lords. Of course, these are bad guys. And, of course, these are your Turbo Force, which are the good guys. I am missing 3 of each, shockingly. So 3 of each, which is pretty equal. So I'm pretty happy about these. These are pretty cool. This is an era of diecast collecting when they actually came out with new ideas and new things. Neither Matchbox or Hot Wheels would ever do anything even remotely close to freestyle like this nowadays. Never in a million years. But they used to do all kinds of cool stuff back in the day. They would try different things. They see what people like, if they do like it or not. But it's pretty cool. So there you go. That is, of course, all your good old Road Blasters. Road Blasters. There's a lot of variations to these over the years too. The card art changed and the names changed, but the models for themselves pretty much stayed the same. They also did some Super Kings and some other play sets and some other stuff like that. This is just the core 164-ish scale line. So anyways, let me know what you guys think about that. Let me know what you think about that super cool showcase. Really happy I could bring that to you. It took a little bit to put this together, so hopefully you guys like it. Don't forget to comment. Let me know what you think about this. The Always Diecast here. Level in. Appreciate every one of you. Peace.